Okay, home from work and time to get into this thing. So, floor pan's in. I've marked out, I'm using this section here for the reference point to get that down on the original. As you can see, there's big gaps over here, so this pan doesn't fit that great, so we're going to have to just jig it. Yeah, this corner's not really working, so you can see there's like massive differences there. But down here is the original hole for the seat belt. Anyway, that's what that mark is. This mark here is where I want to cut it. Eventually I'm going to trim this daggy bit off. I don't know what that is. That does nothing for the XT. So I'm going to cut it along here. Okay. And then I'm going to actually come in back here because I've got to worry about this bracing underneath. So I'll put a little mark here. I've been underneath and measured everything. So there to there I want to go, because I've put a line across here, because underneath there, just in this section, there's some bracing in here. So I want to miss that. Along this section I want to cut in here, because there's a fuel line that runs under there that I've got to miss. So that's why that's in here a bit, which is a lot easier than welding up into there. Much easier. So we'll keep it nice and straight. Same deal here. That's the front seat bolt hole, and there's bracing under there, so I want to come back and give myself plenty of room to miss that along here, and then down we go. So like I say, I'm going to use this corner hump here for the reference to get it placed. So you can sort of feel where that wants to lock itself into there. And I'll go around, I'll just Tech screw all this, I'll trim that, and then I'll go Tech screw it around, and then we'll start cutting and welding and just work our way around. When we get to here, we'll work out where we want to cut to miss that seat belt plate. But I might get under there and take that off. No, I want to get it tacked down so I can drill that hole, so I know where that's going. But anyway, that's what we're doing. See if we can get this thing in. Yeah, so it's always good to get underneath and just have a look what all the stuff is in under there, so you don't go cutting through it. I think I made that mistake putting the front one in. But anyway, you only make them once. So I've tacked that in there. Looks pretty rough, but it always does. It really isn't that great a fit, but it's going to take a bit of modification, but that's all right. I've drilled the hole, got under there and drilled up from where the seat belt mount is, but now I will get under there and see if we can take that off, that whole mount, so that way we can cut and weld and do what we want without having to worry about that. So let's see how that's put on there. Okay, it looks like there's just one little weld along there. I can get my fingers behind it and basically pull it. Might even be able to snap that weld, but I'll cut it. Alright, see how we go here. Without getting any sparks in our eyes. Rightio, I have marked out where we want to be, matching up with our lines right the way around there. That's only got a few Tech screws in to hold it down. I've put a bolt through there and tightened that right down to keep that nice and tight there. So now I'm going to run a row of Tech screws right the way around, just to keep that pinned down, because it is not fitting properly. So we'll just try and get it as tight as we can, and then cut and weld. Okay, let's see how this works. See if I hit a bloody fuel line or something. So I took the tail shaft in today to the lads, and oh man, what a great bunch of guys. Brilliant. He took me in and said, yep, this is what we're going to do to get you the right shaft, and went through it all with me, you know. We came up with a good plan, and turns out I've got a couple of tail shafts here that he wants, so he's going to give me a good discount if I give him those. And yeah, just real good guys. And they're in Nambour on the sunny coast. Farrow's Shafting they're called. And yeah, good guys. Really happy to help you. And that's all you can hope for, isn't it? Just good old-fashioned service. Like I rang him this morning and he didn't answer, and he like rang me straight back when he got the message and everything. It's just those little things that that are really good. So that's good. Tail shaft is sorted. Now this here, this is not fitting over in this area here at all. It's all very wonky. So we just got to do what we can do to pull that in. I don't know if it's... Jesus, feels like I've hit something there. What the hell might that be? Nothing. Righto, as round we go. Yeah, it's really dodgy over there for some reason. Go, get in there. If I bloody rip down on this too hard, it'll just strip them, so gotta be half careful. And all we do is just cut through the screws, put the blade on an angle to minimise our gap, and just, yeah, oh, you'll see, we just cut, weld, round we go. Bit different to panel work here, because it doesn't really matter, like you don't have to go around and just do a whole series of tacks like you do on panels to cut down on warping. This you can pretty much do a 20-30 mil row at a time, keep moving around. Doesn't really matter too much about warping on this stuff, I don't think. Now this has pulled this up here, that should be alright. This is where the fuel line is, so be a bit careful here. I have clamped it back against the inner sill, so hopefully it's out of the way. Yeah, see, that doesn't even want to pull that down. You reckon they'd make a proper one, wouldn't you? For XRXT. Can't be that hard. Anyway, let's do what we do. Right, that's all tacked in. I'll set the welder up and we'll go for it. So I've got that all tacked in, ugly as a hatful of course, but anyway we'll dress it up and see how we go. It took me ages, took me probably 3 hours just to get that far. A bit of dicking around, but anyway it's in. Let's dress it up and then see what she looks like. Righto, peeps, we'll call that done. Still a little bit messy, still got to plug a few little holes and dress it up a bit more. Weld that seat melt, whatever you call it, back on, donut. And that's it. That's good. Another thing, I've got the old bench seat there. So I'm keeping it 3 on the tree, but I've also got the option of buckets. So let me know what you reckon. Should I go the buckets or put the old bench seat back in, keep it old school? I'm not real fussed, but if I do end up putting the buckets in, I've got to get a brace and put up over the hump inside there. So what do you reckon, bench or buckets? Righto, that's it for another one. I'm looking forward to getting the tail shaft back, and then I don't know, I guess that's the main bodywork done now. That's the hardest, the last sort of, you know, pain in the ass bit. The rest is easy. I've got to do a lower guard and just the bonnet, boot, a couple of doors, nothing hard anymore. So we're getting cracking. Righto, we'll see you on the next one. Bye. Yep, it's dirty work, but somebody's got to do it. Check out all the erosion from all the rains and wild weather we've had here. It's my job to fix it where I can. So anyway, onwards and upwards. Pay the bills to get this car restored.